coaster of a map for the first map of this semifinal series. In the end, Nightblood Gaming managed to come off with a win, though narrowly so. I mean, Wyatt, this was definitely a big change from the 13-0 the last time. They had a really, really strong start, but Winthrop, they definitely weren't just gonna roll over and die just like that.
Yeah, and what made zero sense to me was, I mean, literally mid-game, had to go check on VLR which side they got 13-0'd on, and it was defense. They lost 12 rounds on defense, and they cooked Winthrop. They put them in the air fryer, 700 degrees, just destroy. Like, I don't understand what occurred between 2 weeks ago and this game, but they just got out to an insurmountable lead that, despite Winthrop's best efforts, it only took a couple rounds for them to close out the game at the end of the day.
It got close though, Uber, I will say. I mean, Winthrop, we know that they have some strength on this team. Infiltrator, some of these shots that he was hitting was just absolutely nuts. There wasn't a way to really push through. It was just thanks to that first half that they were really being able to close this out. But this was very close to going a different way.
I mean, Infiltrator is, look, playing Jet, absolutely doing his job. He's, what, 5-2, first kill, first death here. Looking really dynamic with the operator on that defense side. Winthrop win both pistols in this game. Just want to point that out. So that is a huge difference maker. But yeah, in terms of those first kills, I mean, you know, it's really like Infiltrator was sort of pushing the buck a lot. Kess and Sogo, just quietly between the two of them, are 6-1. First kill, first death, right? So that is the duo that was actually playing over at the B side for a lot of the map. And you saw it like a few times on that attack side where, admittedly, NBG were struggling. They just kind of bullied their way through by just waiting for someone to show, waiting for someone on Winthrop to peek out and get information. Without Infiltrator at that side, it definitely looked to be their sort of the weaker part of their plan. Infiltrator ends up being 24 kills, I think, over the map. Really good. I will say, Alan with an operator on defense looked great. Like first to the fight a lot of the time. And then we saw on the attack side, they're really trying to force these opening opportunities with their dimensional drift and end up, I think, yeah, really struggling. There's one that works out really well where they're using it for info. They're getting, you know, Infiltrator pinged out on up or over at that B site, and then they emerge and actually find a kill. But yeah, it was pretty scrappy stuff, I think, as far as Alan's concerned. Last thing I'd say is the defensive Vice util looked really good. Like, we're starting to see why teams have been wanting to play that particular agent. The Razorvines are so good to stop these fast jet plays if you put them in the right spots.
I was counting at one point how many times Wyatt was saying all the different util that Vice had over and over, and I lost count. It was too much, but
no,
Wyatt, the studying came
so
handy, and I mean, that
These
Vice was
pills.
really impactful.
It absolutely was. The situations where, I mean, listen, we got to see a nice display of it as well when NBG were on defense, because Winthrop were just not doing a great job of clearing out the utility. We were just seeing over and over examples of Winthrop just getting mulched by it. And then when the sides flip, though, as well, those Razorvines were really good at stopping floods from ever coming in on the chokes when they were getting into the site. Or if you're just setting up, you know, a big, like those big post-plant defenses, I suppose, when you're on attack, where you just have all that util littered around. It was strong in those situations. You know, it definitely had good value on both sides of the map. So it was cool to see.
And we got to talk about the later parts of the game there when things were getting really close, because you called out at some point, Uber, that, like, you know, sometimes these plays, they don't quite work out. Sometimes they do, and that's the one that's going to be picked to be talked about afterwards. And Nightblood, they definitely were trying with these dimensional drifts. They were trying with these plays, but round 23, Uber, they finally got it right. And that's enough to give them that momentum to close out.
Yeah, look, I mean, like, Alam is up there, right, as sort of pinging out. I think Quinn's location is being spotted. Infiltrator actually gets a pick and is able to get away with the tailwind, but Alam actually pops out of that dimensional drift and finds a ton of value. Also, the Razorvines being thrown down here are a little bit awkward. Winthrop don't have the option to actually get into the site and keep this fight going, trying to trade for their jet. So they're stuck on the outside. That allows, you know, NBG to fall back into these, like, full post-plant positions with, you know, like, everything they really need. They got the Odin, they got double shock darts here. Jerk is a beautiful, you know, Cosmic Divide. I mean, that is very scary as you're the post-plant holding team. See that come down, you have to run in. But they had the numbers and they're able to close out the game. Competitive round, but again, yeah, those last two rounds, right, really, really important for NBG as they kind of were sleeping for most of the second half.
And with a game that was so close, even though it was Winthrop's pick, I'm curious with how this next map in the series is going to be shaking up. Next up, everyone's favorite map. We're going to Ascent, and Nightblood definitely have an advantage here with this being their pick, Wyatt. I mean, Ascent, I feel like every team's got to know how to play it, but I'm intrigued with how this will go, especially, too, with Winthrop losing a pretty close-out match. And you got to talk about that fatigue, too, because they just came off of a close series into this.
Yeah, this is Winthrop actually being put through the ringer as far as how much Valorant they are having to play today. Nightblood had the fastest win of any team in the quarterfinals. They were big chilling watching the Winthrop game that was going the distance on like all 3 maps, went on for ages. Last map, they make a huge comeback happen, and then now they almost make a huge comeback happen again. There's got to be some fatigue setting in, and Nightblood are just feeling good. They haven't lost a map yet today. So, you know, not bad. And now we're going into their map pick, and they definitely are going to be feeling confident that they can close out another series 2-0.
I mean, couple things to look for. First of all, this is checks notes. Moob's Reyna map.
Yippee!
We saw them on Reyna last time around. Moobs used to play Reyna on Breeze as well. Like, just the most bizarre maps you would see them sort of come out of the comp. I would say that it went about you'd expect. Last time we saw it, pretty scrappy play. And this is also another... I'm watching Alan very closely here because this is another Yoru map. They play Yoru Deadlook on this map, do NBG. So expect the Sentinel play to form the centerpiece of their approach. They are at least going to have access to some of those flashes via Yoru and the ability to passively, gain some of that information across the map with dimensional drift. So I'm looking forward to see a couple more of those set pieces put together if Alam is going to sort of emerge inside some of these twin smokes and pop out. And we don't just want to see, I think, Alam trading out of that ultimate.
Yeah, and we have some ideas this agent select with really recent results, but we'll roll the agent select to get it official. Make sure there's no sneaky little changes heading into today, but
Moves, you were the chosen one.
Man,
right.
I hate it here. I hate it here. But Infiltrator on the Jet. Okay, like if we're gonna pick a duelist, like Infiltrator's kind of been popping off wide. If it makes sense.
Oh yeah, but with all those comps, Infiltrator was playing Jet anyway. They played Reyna, and then one day before that, they played with ISO Jet, and now we just have the most NA Challengers coded Ascent game of the Turtle Troop comp versus the M80 adaptation of the Turtle Troop comp. I can't. I mean, it's the most Challengers thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see Winthrop. They're picking up the double Sentinel look here. So this is the first time I think in recently we've sort of seen them go for this. So will it pay out? Will Moobs be the savior that was promised?
I mean, anything to stop the Euro on the opposing end, right? But we'll get another game of Ascent, and let's just get right into it. See if Winthrop has what it takes to come back, send us into a map 3.
All right, everybody. Look alive. We've got another Ascent map for you here, and it's obviously Winthrop trying to drag this series out to 3. That would send us, of course, to Bind, our decider. A map that both of these teams, should expect to sort of see them deliver on. I do feel like that's a good one for NBG, but hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. First of all, we're looking at NBG on the attack side here, and Winthrop want to avoid the post plants. We'll see how much risk they take early, though.
I want to also see if we re-enter turbo feed mode with some of this Omen Yoru gameplay. Infiltrator taking that first peek, had an opportunity that looked really close.
Man, Infiltrator just a passenger in this round. Flare also caught in the crouch net.
Cutting through.
Nice easy pickings for NBG now over towards the B side. It's only going to be Jerk. And a couple of players coming in from CT. Jerk buys a little bit of time, but eventually they will fall after going 1-for-1. And that's a big old deadlock wall. Team that moves to Nasty need to navigate this. And in a 1vx situation, Moobs will collapse. And it's a pistol already for NBG on this attack side. Very important.
Just a clean B split. GravNet connects. Alum got a great first kill, that instant tap headshot, and then the second player in market just being forced to take a little seat, crouch over in the corner. Easy as hell to pick them off as well. Just nice, simple, clean, good scaling into the site together. NBG feeling good. They've been doing it's been nothing but net for them today. They just keep winning. They haven't lost yet today, so no reason to let the confidence slip even an inch.
Served them well, said confidence. Albeit some sticky rounds on Abyss, but we can forgive those. They ended up taking the W. Quinn here with the Outlaw heading down mid.
And
Jerk.
lest we forget, back in the Stone Age when Quinn was competing with Gen G, was an Opper all the way back then. So this it's a throwback. We're returning to the times of 2020, the beta.
Literally 4 years ago. Crazy to think. Alum here, trading up mid. Winthrop still with 3 players to work with. They are losing this war of attrition now as Fireball Ops gets that barrier in the way. And we'll see another slant over towards B. It's going to be Quinn a little bit slower. Posting up here in market, and we'll have early warning about a push through that barrier by the deadlock. This gets a little more awkward for Quinn here. You'll see the players over on the B side moving up to support. Easily done, though, with that Outlaw.
Now, a fun little fact, actually. It was on Ascent where Quinn beat Tens to win the Pulse Invitational with Gen G in 2020. It's true. It's true.
Okay,
what?
No.
You weren't watching the 2020 Pulse Invitational? He beat Sentinels in that tournament too, and then beat Cloud9 in the finals with Tens. He beat Tens.
That's crazy, dude. That is wild. This is, by the way, I mean, Quinn also won the first ever Valorant tournament. It was the T1 X Nerd Street Games tournament. They won by beating Brax's team at that event. Had like AZK, Crashies, Skadoodle.
Where is AZK?
That's a great question. I don't know. Oh, good times. I mean, that's like Coach Effie's on that roster. Gimond, player 1. Oh, jeez. What a time to be alive, folks. We're back, though, here in the current year. And the map, obviously, 2-0 right now for NBG winning that attack side pistol. But this is a gun round here for Winthrop. Decent weaponry, to be fair, for NBG. Having some difficulty clearing that Cypher cam, though.
Listening.
Dark cover for a bit of delay. NBG taking their time so far. Throwing out their own dark cover now to get a bit more access to mid, some safety from any players that may have been considering swinging Cat, and the clone is just sent up to get info on that. Tripwire dealt with, broken. This is good so far from NBG, just removing utility pieces that are giving passive info to Winthrop, so they have to be concerned about players working up different areas of the map.
Arcus also trying to signal an inclination towards A by NBG, which is a fake.
30
ultimately.
seconds left.
Things are about to get pretty busy here for this duo with B for Winthrop. Jerk here and Nasty going to be grouped up, and it's going to be time to go here for NBG as the cat's out of the bag on the A side. Getting a wall up over towards Marker, but Jerk able to play off the trap wire beautifully. The attack is down to 3 here, and the Aldrone is going to see plenty as well. Time is short, and there's still a Cypher on the site to deal with. Winthrop holding NBG at bay. They're running out of time. They're going to get gunned down before they can even get to the side, and Quinn knows it. He'd rather just try and keep this Outlaw and get himself a kill. And that'll be it.
A cool attempt on the fake play. Honestly, that drone did draw attention over to the A site. There were 3 players fully committed, and Jerk as well was kind of drifting off B a little bit, but yeah, ultimately just trying to get through that choke against multiple trap wires being placed, and the Odin was there to spam. It's just, yeah, it's too much. There's too much going on. But now they've got their actual buy, and a far more realistic chance of taking the round, but their economy is on the line, NBG, so.
Yeah.
Of the utmost importance for Winthrop to take this one.
Yeah, and Winthrop still had 4 guns after that first buy. It's a pretty feel-good moment for them. Grouping up here and mostly disrespecting the one-way. Of course, they've got an Odin to cause a whole host of headaches here for anyone who wants to play those corners. Cam spots out moves, but he backs away behind that barrier, which is going to stymie Sogo here.
So they've inserted Quinn all the way over towards A and Wine, and he has one of those deadlock trips to play off of, and he finds a pick. So really nicely done from the grizzled vet, as the rest of the team are again just exploring towards mid, using the clone to break a trip if it was placed towards Pizza. And now they're getting set up for this A split.
Okay. Flare here. Gonna have to take the contact of the Alarm drone. Fireball Ops tries to swing into it here. Gravnet also deployed. Doesn't look like there was any catch. Maybe on Flare, but they're able to extricate themselves from it pretty quickly. It's Kesto with the spray down. The Odin causing headaches for Winthrop already. And just as they get into the game, just as they get a good buy round, now Nasty is going to be surrounded. This play is over at Upper. Oh my God! That is wrong! Nasty, please! That does not make any sense. Wild spray correction there from Nasty. Catches two.
What?
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I don't know what happened on my screen. I was just looking at the kill feed, double checking. Like,
I tell you what happened on the screen.
Two?
Jesus took the wheel, brother. He took the wheel.
Yep, proof that God is real. Dude, I don't.
On that day, the Holy Spirit came down. Your boy Nasty's out there speaking in tongues, brother. Holy.
We need the replay.
How does he learn
that.
how to speak Bangladeshi in 5 seconds? Great question. We'll never know.
I need the replay on that at point 0.1 speed to see exactly where those bullets were headed. I mean, and ultimately, it just didn't even matter, by the way. We're talking about that. Meanwhile, they lost the round, but...
Again, it doesn't result in anything.
No.
It doesn't result in anything. But NBG don't have much money. And also, it's just interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting to evaluate things that happen in Valorant from a game development state.
I mean, I'm convinced he was smelling sounds at that point.
That's one you send to the devs. You clip that, you send it over with a question mark.
Okay, we're gonna move on with our lives and the game. Here's round 5, folks. NBG.
No escape.
Able to can get back in after getting kind of hammered by that first fire round. Early Hunter's Fury hit the test. Oh my goodness. Flare there. Get the tickle. Nasty is able to find Alum though. That's going to be a shutdown over on the A site. Still, NBG fully committed to this. Queen's on Heaven. Trying to quickly get across here. Spike is, for all intents and purposes, committed. And the new Nasty's here playing from Heaven. Unk tries to go for it. Does at least get Nasty down to 9. Lightning strike twice here. That's a no. Not the jerk here in a 1v3, and he's in a different postcode.
I mean, that did feel incredibly dangerous for NBG. Jerk just caught and dealt with from Sogo, but they only really, commit to that A site hit with 3 players. They were set up in a 1-1-3. I didn't expect that to be such a fast play, but they wanted Sogo over towards B in case someone tried to push out and get the kill onto Kess when they were in the Hunter's Fury, so just baiting them in. Could have gone awry for the 3 players getting into sight. That's not the entire horde that you necessarily want wading through the trips and trying to kill the anchors, but it all worked out, and the Hunter's Fury was disruptive enough as well. So a cool round overall.
There's no starting in a pretty stately fashion, just the one way that is, okay, well, that's why you don't count to one way. Annihilation's pretty big. Flare can't stop this. Oh, it's devastating. What a moment there to make use of that deadlock ultimate. Winthrop losing 3 players on that A hold here. They are devastated. And of course, they never had great weapons to start with.
Spike.
Yeah, but an ult in that situation, listen, might as well. Can use it to just extend the lead even further. Oh, this is going to be sad for Sogo. Misery.
It was indeed sad.
Misery, pain.
Yeah. And a gun recovered for Jerk. 2 versus 3. No reason not to go through here. To find the next round for Winthrop either way. There's that sonic sensor triggering. Jerk had no opportunity to follow up in that little encounter. And it's your boy, Fireball Ops. 3 kills for the round here. And NBG get to, I'm double taking, 5 attack side rounds here on Ascent.
Jerk at the very least for this next round. 1 off getting the Hunter's Fury, so Winthrop in position to actually use round-changing ultimates for NBG. They've expended all theirs, but obviously, listen, to get to this point, so they've been used pretty well, but now we've got that Annihilation for WU, Hunter's Fury on the cusp of that, and Infiltrator's got the op, so listen.
Alan's bought a shorty. He's bought a shorty.
Oh, and a judge. I'm honestly, I'm going to close my eyes.
All right.
And
hold your breath.
You can, I'll figure out by your response if it's worth opening them or not. Oh, I don't think I want to see this.
Like casting Mr. X all over again. All right. Well. Big ping in mid there. Jerk, though, not able to do much about it. Here comes the dimensional drift. Are my eyes about to roll back in my head 3 times consecutively? Not much to be found there. Alan says, well, I have a judge, so I'm going for it anyway. All over this B site, though, are NBG, and Alan is definitely, jokes aside, in a pretty dangerous position. Moves to start to feel some pressure now as Alan... Well, that was fun. Casto able to spray him down through the corner. Infiltrator here catches him on the cross. The spike, though, does get across there on Speedway. Sogo still opts to challenge that, and Fireball Ops is in a 1 versus 2 with 32 health. And Infiltrator finds their 3rd of the round. We love dimensional drift rounds from NBG. We do.
That was pretty lackluster compared to my expectations of either just cheesing someone completely to get an opening or just, entering the warp speed feed machine. It wasn't. That was relatively tame. Unfortunate, honestly.
Yeah.
Great hopping from Infiltrator, though. And they've finally gone around on the board. Well, a second, but after losing multiple, stopping the bleeding.
This goes here.
Well, look, it lets them get rolling a little bit with the Odin and Jerk's hands, Operator and Infiltrator's hands. So it's everything you ask for as a defense side team on this map. They've already given over 5 rounds. Hurts a little bit. They've also got, a multitude of ultimates to try and get some value from. Jerk almost ends Sogo there and then.
Things are going to slow down a bit. It's been passive from NBG over towards A. They haven't attempted to push up and taken space there. And, well,
my goat. That's nice.
That's unfortunate. Where did that come from?
That is from, across the B side. He's beautiful. I'm a big fan of that shock dart from Jerk.
What a nerd.
Yeah, actually...
Who's hitting a shock?
That is very average Jonas coded moment there from Jerk.
Bro needs to go outside. We're hitting shocks like that in the Challengers match. Come on, buddy.
That's extremely sweaty. All right. Alamo getting their way up mid, of course, with the clone leading the way. Already heads are turning towards the spawn side, move ready for a push through. But good spot to leave Yoru. Infiltrator also going to be knocked off an angle. Why a lot of things! Why are we doing the TP into the face of people? Win again. Blasted by Infiltrator, who finds a second now as Fireball Ops cannot capitalize. Has moves. It's a nice little annihilation in. Now Infiltrator is killed. Suffice to say, they've reposted on the angle.
And that
was a round of Valorant.
Yep, that was definitely some Valorant that we watched. That was some Valorant we watched. Listen, I'll say it again. Infiltrator's opping. He's looking nasty. He's just straight up winning rounds for Winthrop on the past couple. And catches Fireball Ops skating back around the corner out of the cocoon.
I guess the idea there for Quinn is that he thinks it's only one player caught inside the grab net.
I'm not going to speculate too hard. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on there.
All right. Mostly a full buy for NBG. Infiltrator, though, just gets to go walking, finds a freebie off the bat. That's Fireball Ops out of the picture here, so that post-fight is not on the table anymore. I don't even imagine we'll get to that point of this round, but it's worth bearing in mind. Sometimes we walk in the smoke. Sometimes we just walk up.
I just want to say, by the way, look at the X over top cat. That is where Jerk got the spam kill, by the way. Spamming through the wall outside, the wall in mid outside market, and got a kill on someone top cat.
Spike down B.
He must have heard us calling him a nerd, Wyatt. I can see the bullet. Oh my god.
Come on. He is just cheesing people in the server right now.
Bro, someone get in contact with the dean over at Winthrop. We've got to do a GPA check on this guy, because there is just no way he is giving adequate attention to his studies.
Left.
Unless he's literally taking how to wallbang 101 course out there on Winthrop, which I'd be surprised they're progressive enough to offer, but hey, you never know. It's not Berkeley, but you never know.
Don't mess with me.
Oh, someone finally killed Infiltrator, though. That's good. I was expecting him to be able to immediately hit that shot, to be honest. He is looking sick with the off. Genuinely one of the standout players of this tournament at the moment. And now
Got him there.
he'll live.
Yep, we better get away. Nasty with challenges, but I love the little shoulder peek. That is so cheeky. We have a gun. We have a rifle in hand here for Alim. Also, like a dimensional drift here, one orb away. Also, annihilation around the corner. So NBG, with the investment they're making in a round like this, and of course they may as well. Great time for a timeout here. Just how that early round goes. Yeah, we just missed it. Moves with the inexplicable walk up into smoke there, looking just to call the bluff of NBG. Does get punished, but outside of that, it's a really tight round from Winthrop, and Infiltrator is kind of spanking them.
Not even just kind of. He's picked up the op, and it's the last 3 rounds. There's a direct correlation between Infiltrator buys op and Winthrop win a round. You know, obviously, already losing 5 to this comp on attack is not ideal, but they can definitely run this one back and have a fair go at it.
It's the issue, right, for the double sentinel comp, right? You do have a Yoru instead of a Jet, so you have an extra flash, but in general, you are contacting a lot of the map, and that is what Infiltrator is banking on, right? Just hold extremities with the operator. It's a really common, like, anti-double sentinel strat. Just here, like, holding into B long, obviously is a great idea, although they won't see much action. NBG looking to get to the post plant. They really haven't had a sniff of a bomb site recently.
And right now, Moobs is ready to fight off a Gravnet with a Paranoia, a Recon. There's a utility trap play set up here from Winthrop University into A main, and it's, I would imagine, going to come off that orb tap, but you just get out of there. And Fireball Ops just catches the Moobs completely. Nice little opening.
This plays pretty well with how deep up mid Alim's been able to get. Okay, so they pull out there. Another gate crash used. That's by the way. Here's the dimensional drift. Oh, Flare! He just takes the challenge. That completely takes the wind out of NBG sails here. Flare does hear the emergence from the drift, and Alim just has no business trying to take that fight. 2 players left for Nightblood Gaming, grouped up over towards that A main. Will eventually have to challenge through the smoke and meet their makers, that's plural, as Nasty will be waiting to support Flare. Soko at least is able to get up here, but Alan gets pinged. Jerk. Well, the rest is history. Spray him on down with that Odin. Sogo. So gone.
That was the timing of all timings. I mean, Flare swung as Huynh was throwing a dark cover as the drone got popped, and the first kill was on the player that was watching the angle. Like, yeah, that's I mean, actually, they weren't even really watching it. Fireball Ops was like just getting around the corner. I mean, they definitely could have played that a little bit safer when you have someone popping the drone right there. But yeah, that is a crazy timing for Flare to hit, to get a couple free kills.
Just when things were looking really good for NBG in that round, they got a free kill, right? Fireball Ops just waits for Moobs to walk up into their crosshair, and they have a player right up mid. Anyway.
Careful here.
I'm just ruining what I just saw. Rudely ruining it. Alright, well, information there. Yoru spotted out. Gate crash actually wasn't in place at the time, and he tries to adjust by sending one out. Moobs tries to get a little bit more, though. Then he maybe ought to have, and gets punished for that swing out into mid.
Yeah, Winthrop just trying to push the extremities together. I mean, they are getting really aggressive on this round. Many players just walking forward, and they're getting caught.
Shot down.
Nicely done by Jerk, though. That is going to make it much harder here for NBG. Okay, Jerk. Yeah, swing that thing.
I mean, again, this is, we're getting muddy here, Mitch. Like, we can just wait for that dark cover and go together, but we're rushing things. We're getting silly, so we're trying to go through main. They got to trade this out. Cypher on Cypher.
Soko threatens. Oh, I love that from Nasty. What a crosshair break with a camera throw. Beautiful stuff there from Winthrop. Even if they got maybe a little bit overly aggressive, like you mentioned, midway through that round, it's a good stabilization here. Leaves Nightblood Gaming with, well, whatever they can cobble together for this last round of the half.
Yeah, and to be fair, look, they were getting aggressive because they had that Hunter's Fury popped. They knew they had Alim caught, trying to get out with the gate crash. So they were pushing forward with a purpose. They were pushing out of B main at the same time. There was just a couple duels lost. Like, it's not anything egregious. It's just, you know, Nightblood on some of those angles, winning the duels, hitting the first shots, but it made sense what Winthrop were doing for sure.
Infiltrator, ready for contact, also ready for the clone. Ooh, that's risky. Looks to ask more of mid there, but there's Nasi. Annihilation did connect here. Infiltrator can't do too much to interrupt it either. Everybody dodging away from the op shots here, and Nasi is going to get drawn into their death. Now Infiltrator is overextended with a neural theft about to activate, and they've got to get out. It ends up being a 1-for-1 here. Window looking to check tree, sees nothing, but a lot of Deadlock util is set up there, and Infiltrator goes for a re-peek in the mid and is punished.
Yeah, Infiltrator might have been going a little bit too crazy there towards market. When you get away with your life like that, maybe just play a little passive. Thank your lucky stars that you even made it out of pizza and got back in the market. I mean, I get they want to pick the angle, back up, flare. Great time to find a kill. Paranoia for some further delay. Will back off. Watch them run.
Where's Flare headed with this? Okay, over
30
towards
seconds left.
grass here. NBG not committing to a site yet. They do have a anti-rotate wall here over towards spawn. There's batting at 15 health and a dream. Good for the one. Now, Winthrop split across the map here. Jerk still not certain that it's going to be an A plant, but enough has been heard by moves here to confirm that. At least that they're ready. Oh dear. 10 seconds left to get a plant. Grabnet going to be deployed. Ping out of Fireball Ops as well. And Winthrop salvage yet another round. Great run at the end of the half here after they started a little awkwardly. Winthrop with 7.
It really came down to when Infiltrator started getting the op in his hands. That was when they were able to string the first few rounds together, and then they, come out with a couple aggressive rounds as well, mixing them in after, closing them out. That good clutch from Nasi, getting some real momentum. That's 6 in a row. That's pretty nasty. It looked like we were headed into 2-0 territory, but they recover the half. They do recover it.
Alum. A lot hinges though on what Winthrop can sort of do getting off to a good start here. Obviously the Jet op a little bit harder on that attack side, right? Infiltrator cannot just sit and hold a line.
Yeah, I want to see what Alum's got in store for us on defense as well. Was just really getting shut down on attack.
Careful here.
And not even necessarily just because of what he was doing specifically. It was just the Yoru was being played around really well.
Infiltrator, because Alum gate crashes out of mid, has the opportunity to push up. The timing though on the re-clear for NBG was beautiful. Fireball Ops also picks his spot perfectly. Flyer is down to 13 points of health here. That's good for one, but so good just yet forces the issue. Also knows that Jerk is playing towards top mid. The spray down doesn't do too much to unseat the Cypher player. And man, people are just serving themselves up for Alum, who's already scored 50% of their frags from the first half in this first round of the second.
That was Flare with the spike getting caught in the cubby as well mid, so this round should be GG unless some crazy shots are hit, and well, there's one.
I don't even know where that came from.
I know, I have no idea. I simply don't know how Moobs got that kill, but all good. It gets cleaned up regardless, and I do feel we're about to be in store for some Koala Noob-esque gameplay from Alum on the defense. And we saw that's where he was thriving on Abyss, scoped weapon on defense, and that is also the creators of this comp, as far as I know, and certainly the team I've seen playing it the most, M80. A lot of it is about Koala Noob opping on defense with the Yoru teleporting around the map, being a nuisance in that way while your Sentinel utility is stacked elsewhere. And Alum looked good with the scoped weapons, so maybe he can take over.
That wall is going to be pretty quickly cleared by Winthrop, but it's a bit of a pain when they are playing on pistols. They're going to opt not to waste ammunition here, as it is limited on a buy like this, and just carve it off the map. Still a scary prospect, though. Infiltrator will stay there over towards A main. Should any of the defenders look up to check that? A lot of Cypher util, but it's really set up for a push across towards CT as opposed to a play onto
Not
Speedway.
ready yet. Scanning ahead.
Now Recon will see nothing. And gate crash into position by Alum with that outlaw here.
Yeah, there was nothing really invested from Winthrop, so the outlaw shouldn't have any light armor targets on this next round. That's a bit unfortunate, but surely won't be too consequential.
Nice angle for Fireball Ops there. This is nothing the
30
A main
seconds
players from
left.
Winthrop can do about that one. It's a deep angle into tree. It wasn't even like it was a mispositioning from Nasty necessarily. They're going to test this.
No escape.
Winthrop, though, have to full contact play this. Flair has none of that util really left at all after this. And they've lost Sogo here on the defender side. Winthrop want to try and push in now, but time is awful short. Infiltrator getting into the face of Fireball Ops, but that's a third with the Guardian. And Alan, well, characteristically, playing very far forward. And it will be this Winthrop attack round shut down again.
All too easy, as it should be. But now we'll see if they can actually really capitalize off retaining these weapons in the bonus round, get off to a strong lead in the second half economically, break Winthrops here. Oh, actually, they do have to have a couple light armors. I didn't think they were dragging their economy that low, despite, there was one Sheriff purchased, but that is a bit dangerous, a bit worrying if Alum happens to be in the right place at the right time, shooting at the right player.
Here's that spray from Kess. Alum gets out of that situation. Infiltrator really fancy the fight, so A main control here. Pretty well established. Fireball Ops also is going to be reciprocal grab nets here. You can get a wall up, but one that can be cleared out of line of sight. So not the best kind of placement, but enough at least to slow things down on the attacker side.
Yeah, really just feeling pressured, throwing that out as a precautionary tool. Didn't want to get rushed down, so the wall is dealt with fast. It's good from Winthrop, but now they're going to fall back. They haven't explored too much of the rest of the map. They know no one's pushed out of B main, but they're going to have to re-clear in B main. And then it looks like they want Nasi to probably just late lurk up mid. Try and find a timing to backstab. She's going to have moves with him as well, so the B split is going to be on, and the attention will be on Sogo to at least get one here, backside, playing off the trips and the cam, completely entrenched in sewer.
It's essential. You're right, but they at least find the one.
30 seconds left.
You got NBG here, even with a clone. Thrown out by Alum as they get towards CT. Oh, play off the trips, why don't you? Beautifully done. However, still issues here for NBG. They've lost Kess and Alum trying to get through CT. Sogo can be called on to be a huge anchor, and that's their second on the site. Very, very low is Jerk, but P and moves combine for a pretty dirty round. Winthrop back in it.
Respect for the effort. Unfortunately, that's a phantom moment. Obviously, that's a Vandal. Jerk's dead, so... those are some really nice shots. Also, great positional play from Sogo, just working that dark cover. Going initially inside of it, finding the kill from the trip, and then just using it for cover to isolate a 1v1. That was some great individual play. Pretty lovely to watch. This is going to be the full buy, though. That was their bonus round. Economy fully on the line for Nightblood.
All right, Alum there gets that early action. Infiltrator gets involved very quickly. Finds a good range to play the judge with. Laboriously has to try and clear that wall. A grab net could be a problem. They're all crouched down, and Fireball Ops gets in there. Oh, it's a masterclass of deadlock util.
Yeah, that ability is pretty good. I'm gonna be honest. It's not bad. It's not bad. Did that give 4 players? 3 players? All 5 players? It felt like it got everyone. But aside from whomever that was, Alum killed first. It's just so strong in that corridor towards A main. It's so easy to trap, like that little, trap play setup where someone taps the orb, where you can pin them in the corner. Just finding that timing when you're being pushed to throw it in, and then just re-push yourselves into those players. It is so strong.
In the mid we go here, Winthrop, obviously with very little to work with. There was a brief moment in the sun economically. Jerk got pinged by that. It's all too easy. He had util in hand anyway. And that neural theft is pretty big. They're going to see all of this now as Winthrop dive over towards that market area. Big shock dart, big ping on them all as well. Down inside one of those cyber cages, then Allen goes for a wild spray. Sogo is going to be there for the backup, though. This should be tied up pretty quickly, and economically a very important round for Nightblood Gaming. Finding a flawless here.
Economy is going to start to build, and it is a nightmare when you're in the uphill battle where the team on Ascent defense is just buying fully over and over. There is no respite from the operator in the hands of the Yoru being anywhere, having to try and drone them off angles, etc. And there is no respite from the annoying Odin in B main. It is such a pain when you can't get those defenders on an eco on this map, because those like high tier expensive weapons are so relevant here.
Okay, paranoia thrown out here. I mean, Winthrop playing actually pretty safely on that A side of the map as Alan went hunting. And now they're going to be able to throw up that wall. Okay, so Alan, all right, Alan can play up that barrier with a gate crash over towards A. So that's almost a free play, or at least it feels like it. Nicely done to Fireball Lock, so that's just raw contact for Initiator, and Huyn giving them a taste of their own medicine. Alan here emerges at just the right time to find the double, and Jerk looks pretty silly with a Hunter's Fury stuck in spawn. Another flawless round here for NBG means they could be buying for much of the rest of this game.
It's just a simple setup, but it works beautifully. Little bait and switch over at Tree with the player with the rifle taking contact, so Quinn could be up close, and that is the flawless round.
No one left to send a message.
Nail in the coffin from Sogo. Yeah, just again, simple setup, bait and switch, works perfectly. Alum and Wine pops out at the right moment. Everything works exactly as drawn up. And still, you are just seeing this Nightblood Gaming team. They definitely have the individual skill. That is no question. I mean, very cool to watch some of these players that I have never seen before. I've watched Fireball Ops and Huyn. The other three guys, unknown to me, and definitely have been very impressed with them at different moments. On this map, Sogo has been fantastic. Alum's opping was really good on map 1. I thought Kess's play on map 1 was fantastic with the Sova. Like some of the more interesting Sova play that I've seen on Abyss, like some unique aspects to his game with the Odin and some of the util he was using that I just haven't seen other people use. So pretty cool to see these new players that, you know, have a shot at not just making it deep in this tournament, but, you know, being relevant in Challengers next year as well.
And I mean, it's a pretty important moment to take a timeout here, given that Winthrop obviously have very little money, but do have a large number of ultimates developed here. This might be the kind of round where, like, a Blade Storm for Infiltrator makes sense. I can't imagine Winthrop really want to sit around and wait for, you know, round 20 before they actually start to try and claw this game back. Only one attack side round. Never really got their economy going. So let's see what we have in store. And predictably, of course, the Blade Storm at the ready for Infiltrator. There is a double face here, and Nasty doesn't really have a way to see through it outside of going there first. Annihilation, no catch off that. Fireball Ops a little frustrated there. And they back up.
Yeah, and I really don't mind as well that, like, Fireball is just kind of using these annihilations very willingly. They're not trying to wait around for the best possible moment. No, just try and get an advantage. Even if it's on an anti-eco, just try to go for something, lock it up. Yeah, missed this time. Last time in this same situation on an anti-eco, I got an easy kill to shut down like a little stack on one of the sites. Like, yeah, just use the ult. Like, just use it. You don't have to try and save it for the exact perfect moment. Just find the advantage when you can.
Winthrop waited that 30 seconds for the wall to dissipate. Fair enough, but there it is, up close and personal. Kess is caught out by the Blade Storm. Alan, maybe you thought to flash out of that smoke here, but NBG down to 3 players. It's a dimensional drift here, which will, you know, give the very important detail that they're on the site trying to win the round. Sogo runs into that Odin. Alan is going to emerge here and look to get down and dirty with it. Nasty removed very quickly. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. And what a recovery here for Alan in the round. NBG, again, right the wrongs of the early round. Take it away.
Yeah, well, to be fair, though, they right the wrongs with wrongs that ended up just being so right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally follow.
The things that were occurring at the end there, well, not the tightest Valorant gameplay I've ever seen. I wouldn't, you know, necessarily recommend that you go for those exact plays in your ranked games. Unless you're hitting the shots that Alum's hitting. That definitely helps. Yeah, things just got pretty disconnected, but it's all good. You know, they were trying to take advantage of the dimensional drift so like Soho could find a window to push in, but it's just, you know, there's not really anything occurring off the back of it, like any other util to really assist him. Like there wasn't any flashes from Alum. I don't think he had any left, so, you know, it's a tough situation to make the best of, but Alum does with some sick aim.
Oh, attack side up here for Infiltrator. And Alum just has the crosshair a little bit too low. Infiltrator's earlier on the shot anyway. And that, obviously, they've bled their coffers dry in order to come around like this. Okay, Kess spots this action. A little bit awkward. Can't really play up on the corner now. The grab net in play. It's going to force the Odin off. Darcy, though, takes a... it's another Phantom moment. That's fine. Paranoia comes through, and there's time now for NBG to get ready for this. It's Kess just playing around the fringes of this. The timing for Flair is so good. And Winthrop are so back. It's up to Fireball Ops here. Smoked out of spawn. No choice but just to go for it. Nice little double. But that'll be all they get.
That was a great hit. I like the moment where they got a little bit patient and then made sure to just push in together, swarm the site, just delete those anchors. Cool to bring the op in as well, just mixing things up. Hadn't used it prior on attack and completely catches out Alum. Infiltrator just on that swing so fast. The reactions from him have been pretty sick, especially with the op. It's a cool little addition, something to bring in the fold that NBG we're not expecting. Alum has hella money though, so he's got an op again. See if he can get the best of Infiltrator on this round.
NBG can buy this round and the next. So again, could definitely throw caution to the winds in some of these situations. Again, it's a matter of stringing those two rounds together to try and end the map. Just like we saw on Abyss. Eventually, Alum pulls out a mid there to give it up as Infiltrator was on a more passive angle, hoping for a bit of a risk taken by the defending Opper. Now we look to anchor and set up here for this side contact. No commitment from Winthrop yet.
Scanning ahead.
Oh, that recon does get the ping, but Odin not able to. Thankfully, the Odin only goes through, you know, maybe one wall. It doesn't go through 3 walls, and hopefully it keeps that way.
That is such a big kill for Alum. Patience pays off there. They opt not to overpeak in mid early in the round and instead just sit on A. Operate on the extremities here, and they down the danger player for Winthrop.
Yeah, and this
now they're getting into the danger zone time-wise.
Yeah, this is tough, right? Time is getting low, and when they execute on the site, maybe Flair is going to have to teleport forward into a dark cover or something along those lines. Like, someone has to be able to create space here.
There it is, Alum
not
just
going to be Flair.
swings out the dark cover. Still more work to be done, though. Fireball Ops is down. Alum, though, back on the angle and finds another. This defensive opping's been sublime.
Down A.
4 kills in the round. And Winthrop, look at their money.
10 seconds left.
Narcy has it in spades. They realize it might be better to hold on to this rifle, give it over to someone else. And that'll be NBG get to series point here. 12-9. Now just looking to stick the landing.
Yeah, that is some Valorant tutorial-looking gameplay where you're defending the spike down and the little robots are running at you from Alum. That is what's occurring in this situation. But I mean, look, there's nothing Winthrop can do realistically. Like, they've lost their jet, so the only option to try and create space, get in, break crosshairs, is an Omen teleport, and then Flair gets killed next. Like, you can't do anything but just run in and know that you're cooked. So, tough to be the Winthrop players at the end there. You know your fate is sealed.
Just a stinger here for Flair.
Here.
And it's full glass cannon operator for Infiltrator, trying once more for that attack side operator gambit.
Yeah, they really are risking it all on that.
Oh, buddy, the Odin is... it's so good. Moves down to 14 after that little exchange. Alum might be able to peek ahead of this Al drone here.
Time to jump.
Okay, setting up that gate crash just in case they need to be elsewhere. Getting a free peek here virtually.
Yeah, and for the dimensional drift as well. Oh, great first kill.
Nasty though gets in. Cybercage thrown out and looking to test this, this Yoru position. But dimensional drift will show just how far up on this site these Winthrop players are. There's also a gate crash that puts, pretty far out of the fight. It's going to be a trade. Flair though has a timing. Flair has a timing. Kess can't respond quickly enough, and it's up to Alum in the B site. 1 versus 2. Paranoia's going to give away the location of Flare, but Alan thinks there's been a TP across. There hasn't been.
Yeah, that was a great TP from Flare at the end there. Could have repositioned to multiple different places, and you just don't know which one to choose. That was really well done at the end by Winthrop, despite losing that first kill as well, with moves going down, running up mid. Great recovery. Big risk taking the AWP into that round. Glass cannon with the game on the line. And they actually aren't carrying it over into this one. They've gone back to all rifles in the Odin, so the AWP, it's a wrap for that. Economy is looking really bad now for Nightblood, by the way.
Yeah, it's about the orbs here. Look how close Winthrop are to some of these big ultimates.
The thing is, you just know when you're tapping that A orb against this comp, you're getting hit with this. Yep, you're getting hit with the Annihilation, with Grav Nets, Paranoias, all of that obnoxious util.
Right, so they break the cocoon here. Good damage on moves. They're going to go for it still. Oh, the Annihilation from the attack side is good, but Alum is there. They can't save Fireball Ops, though. It's desperate spray through the smoke. An Infiltrator's gotten into the A site. Fireball Ops again. Left all alone. Still with 3 players. NBG can go for this, but again, you're right. After this round, their economy is looking absolutely shambolic. 3 players are all grouped up to play from heaven. Shocky almost catches moves, though. Plant being disrupted. They are canvassing the site with shock dart damage. Oh, love that play off the Al drone. Sogo gets in there, and there it is. Neural theft. Moves caught, trying to cross into hell. It's now up to Infiltrator and Jerk in the post-plant. And Kess is going for it. What was that? Infiltrator vaporizes under the scrutiny of the Odin, and NBG close the series 2-0.
That was some excellent utility on the last round. Despite being at that disadvantage, it felt like they had more players, the amount of pressure they were applying to Winthrop on the site. That was a really great play to close out the game. And yeah, Nightblood today, again, nothing but net. They've won every map that they've played, 2-0, 2-0. They're through to the semis, or final now, upper bracket final actually, yeah, already. They did it real fast.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty rapid series. Let's bring Sierra in here to talk about this, of course. Nightblood advancing through this bracket pretty confidently. A team that we really had very little information about. A true dark horse here in Stage 3.
That's what's so exciting about Challengers every single time. I know that Stage 3 is dramatically different than Stage 1 and Stage 2, but being able to see that what we probably expected coming out of this, a TSM performing strong, YFP performing strong, all of a sudden, like, things getting switched up a little bit, and this team that we don't know much about coming out on top. And Wyatt, I think we got to get acquainted real quickly, because not dropping a single map today onto upper finals, truly impressive, and some big takeaways is yeah, they got a solid crew.
For sure. I was impressed at different points with all of the 3 players that I wasn't familiar with. So it was everyone outside of Quinn and Fireball Ops. All had great moments. And even despite this team having a lot of silly rounds, they play so many great rounds that it ultimately didn't end up mattering. And I don't know how long these guys have been playing together, but I would just speculate that with more time and reining some of those rounds back, continuing to improve the synergies that they have with each other, especially in some of those rounds where things are getting a little chaotic, this team could be really legit. They've already beaten 2 quality Challengers teams with, you know, I'm not going to say with ease, but by a pretty comfortable margin. It's definitely nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
100%.
This is a great showing, I think, in general for NBG. They really achieved the objective, I think, of their sort of attack side ascent play. Winning both pistols is obviously massive, but all they had to do was sort of win those 3 rounds in a row. And, you know, crucially, it's off those post plants. Winthrop not able to get a read on them early and play ahead of like those situations. Again, both teams with deadlock, so they do sometimes want to try and avoid those. 5 rounds on that attack side and then win the pistols in a second. You're feeling very good about it. It almost felt inevitable after that point.
100%. And I know going into the series, Fireball Ops was someone that we highlighted from Nightblood Gaming, but Alum, especially in the series, I think we really need to talk about more. Even if the first half was a little bit slower, once we got that swap popping off, and we got to see that, yeah, not afraid to go for this Euro utility. We saw it in Abyss, even though that sometimes it didn't work. But Wyatt really coming together here, and yeah, deserved MVP, that's for sure.
100%. The play with the operator on defense on both maps was great. It took over many rounds on Ascent. Was getting good value with a lot of the dimensional drifts as well. And on the one where I thought it was just going to get way too silly with the Judge Shorty, kind of was chill on that one, actually. Like, didn't even overextend.
Amazing. He just ended up getting into Switch House, right? And had a shotgun and then died. But, you know, it wasn't it wasn't the most compelling round. But what I liked most about Alum there was when after they realized that Infiltrator was playing attack site op, they adjusted completely. Instead of like getting aggressive in mid, they just like hung out passively, held that mid angle, and then the gate crashed back to the A site where they ended up killing Infiltrator in that really, really important round. So it's the little things in this game, just as Wyatt pointed out here. And that adjustment was crucial.
Well, at this point, congratulations to Nightblood Gaming for making it into the upper finals. We're going to be taking a quick break, and on the other side, an interview with Fireball Ops, so don't go too far. Nightblood Gaming, undefeated on the day, and the team that we maybe know the least about heading into Stage 3. So time to get to know a little bit more. And for that, we're going to get to talk to Fireball Ops. First off, congratulations, not just on the win, but on the run so far that you've had today, making it to these upper finals, not dropping a map. How are you feeling about this?
We're feeling great. We're really catching a stride right now as a team. You know, not a lot of people knew anything about us, like you said, and counted us out on a lot of these maps. So we're just here to prove ourselves.
I mean, you're definitely proving yourselves in a really big way. I mean, you're the team that we know the least about going into this. And of course, we have expectations of these teams that we've seen a lot about and didn't really have much. And we, like, all of us have been thoroughly impressed. So talk to me a little bit more about this team, how long this team's been together, what's working behind the scenes, how you've been able to put this run together so far.
Okay, it happened about 2 months ago. A lot of our players had college, collegiate, and we were a little lost trying to find players. We needed two. We found Kess and Alim. They've been phenomenal. Love them so much. And we really just meshed straight away. There's nothing really else to say other than that. We meshed right away, and yeah.
Yeah. For 2 months, that's thoroughly impressive. So that I definitely agree with that. Now I want to talk a little bit more about the series. I want to call up the Abyss because when we look at just a couple of weeks ago, it was kind of a really rough scoreline that we got to see, which was Nightblood Gaming getting 13-0'd. You don't ban it today. It's actually the first map. Not only that, you win it. So what happened? Was it like you put a lot of work into this? Was that just a bad day?
I would say it was a very bad day. We didn't stick to our game plan. We knew it was strong coming into that match. Lemonade Stand played great. You know, kudos to them. But we knew that we were still strong on it, and we weren't afraid to keep it up.
Hey, I mean, you definitely got to kind of rewrite that history a little bit today and show us a really strong gameplay. Now, we get to see this team coming together, this team that's meshing really well. I want to know, not just like for stage 3, but what kind of is for this team? Is it, hey, you're just playing this for fun and then we'll see what happens next year? Is this kind of an intention with this roster to try and win this and then try and push even further next year?
Oh, 100%. We want to win this. We want to win this thing, and then don't keep the train moving, and just go straight into hopefully stage 1 or next Challengers, the real season.
I mean, there definitely still is a lot of Valorant for stage 3, but so far definitely been stepping up. So looking forward to what the future has for you and the team. I'll let you go and rest up for today. But Fireball, thank you so much for chatting. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's for us. Back over to our analyst desk for the final time today. Chat a little bit more. I mean, hey, Nightblood Gaming, I'm still just can't wrap my head around that. 2 months, this team, Wyatt, there's players that we haven't really been acquainted with, and they're coming out here undefeated on the day in the upper finals. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, 100%. They were really fun to watch. I mean, even among the chaotic rounds that were occurring as well, they just put on a very fun game to watch. Some insane skill individually, some cool team play rounds as well with the different agents that they were running, and some funny rounds too. And I appreciate all of that. It made for a very entertaining game.
Yeah, and with that's it for finals. I think you're about to the same thing that I'm umming here. TSM have been eliminated.
Okay, that's pretty crazy. I mean, Blue Water's legit team, seriously, right? They've got like some great players on this roster, but that is pretty wild. TSM, obviously, in the very early days of this new look roster here, and it's probably, I don't know if many people would consider it the most ambitious, acquisition to take those, core players in. But I thought T-Dog looked, really good. And honestly, like, I think even their losing matches, Key and Ziff looked like they were more than pulling their weight. So that's a head scratcher for me to see them knocked out. But it also means that this lower bracket gets super interesting with Winthrop taking on Blue Waters. Winthrop and Sad, by the way, who were two teams that played all the time. So, Bob and Zostal here, of course, running that one back, which will be fun to see. And yeah, I love the story of this Nightblood Gaming team. Really great head on their shoulders, of course. We, getting a chance to hear from them. I do think we'll expect to see more from them. Fireball Ops is just really likable and plays some pretty darn mean Valorant.
It's Challengers. You never know what to expect. Well, while that last match was going, I was watching 3 different games of Ascent since we have all these side streams and stuff. I got to watch this TSM get knocked out. Also got to see Rankers and YFP. Rankers, we saw how strong YFP was going up against TSM on that Sunset that we were praising TSM for, and Rankers just out of the gate just smacked them on Sunset. So this is why there is so much here. This has been a really interesting bracket, really interesting tournament so far.
Yeah, genuinely. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not super surprised that there's a 3-mapper with YFP Rankers, but yeah, like you said, they crushed them on Sunset. Huh? That's kind of come out of nowhere. He's inspiring me. If they win this on Split and make it to the upper final, Rankers versus Nightblood Gaming, not my prediction, but I'm here for it.
It's that new blood. I'm telling you. Not all new. Okay, let's be fair, but it is promising to see that the NA scene has a bunch of talent coming up here. I'm
definitely
out of that.
It's some great stuff, and of course, there's still matches going. So we're gonna wrap this up because I need to watch that YFE Rankers match 100%. But everyone who is still watching here, thank you so much for tuning in. Production, casters, y'all are awesome. We'll see you tomorrow for more Challengers and on the side streams. Until then, take care, everyone.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
So
One enemy remaining. Clutch. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike down B. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
My ult's ready. Night night.
One enemy remaining.
Breathe out. Ultimate ready for now.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. One enemy. Standing. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Down B. Last player standing. One enemy remaining. Enemy remaining. Spike down B. Flawless.
I'm back.
One down. Goes hard. Duck.
One enemy remaining. Irrelevant.
Yikes.
Attackers. One enemy remaining.
Go.
One
Night night.
One enemy remaining. Spike down. 10 seconds left.
Breathe out.
One enemy remaining.
I'm right here.
One enemy remaining.
Ready.
One enemy remaining.
I have them now.
Spike planted.
Defeated. My ultimate.
One enemy remaining.
The game starts long before the game starts. And warm hands are faster hands. Gain the upper hand and power up your pregame warm-up with Zippo hand warmers.